We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So from time to time, people also ask, what's the requirement to fulfill Parami? So how many types of Parami do we have to fulfill to attain arhatship? So if we wish to attain arhatship, we have to fulfill Parami, but it's not so heavy like Buddhahood or Pachika Buddha or chief disciple, great disciple. At least we must have Vijja and Jarana. Vijja means knowledge, Jarana means conduct. So today I will introduce Vijja and Jarana. Okay, I have to introduce Vijja and Jarana today. So whenever we talk about Vijja, then we must know all these conditions. Or maybe we can say these 8 types of Vijja. Another thing is, if we know, Vijja, then we also have to know how many Vijja can we achieve in this very life. How many Vijja is possible for us to attain? Now the first one, insight knowledge. These are also called Vijja. Today I will explain insight knowledges in detail, but not as a detail, also maybe some briefly, because if we approach very much in detail, it will be very heavy topic also. Another one is supernormal power of mind-made body. Okay, here we have special psychic power that they can create another body inside their body. That kind of power is called Manomayiti. Then 3, the knowledge of recollecting past existences. This is psychic power. So by this psychic power, people also can know their past lives a little bit in detail, how they survive, what they eat, what they wear, their name, their lineage, and so forth. It will be different from insight knowledges. In the insight knowledges, we can know only the causes of life, and Vijjatana, Uparana, Sankhara, Kamma, and so on. We cannot know very much in detail, such as a name, lineage, or something. It's almost impossible with insight knowledge. Then 4, knowledge of divine eye. Actually, when we say knowledge of divine eye, there are many other things we can understand. For example, we can see very fine, very small, tiny things, even very far. This is also called divine eyes. Then we can also see with our psychic power. We can also see divine being with our psychic power. This is also called divine eyes. Not only that, one of the things is, with this kind of psychic power, we can also know people's karma and their reward. Because of this kind of karma, they are born in this kind of life, this kind of existences. Then you may have known Venerable Mahamoggallana also visited and do divarams, also ask divine beings and their answer, right? Also, then actually he could also know what kind of karma make them happy, bring them happy life. Similarly, he also see many ghosts, lower ranks beings. He can also ask many questions. Actually, the Buddha also can know that kind of things. Okay, that one is we call Chutupapada Jnana. Chuti and Upapada, that means death and reverse. So what kind of karma produce their reverse? Then when they pass away, when they are reborn in this kind of existences, this is also one of the divine eye. 5. The knowledge of divine ear. So although we say divine ear, that means we can also listen very fine and very soft sound around us, but even very far, we can hear. Not only that, we can also hear divine sounds. This is also called divine ear. 6. The knowledge of reading other beings' mind. So this is also very common at the time of the Buddha. For example, Narapindika visited the Buddha for the first time. Then in his mind, if Buddha can know my name, he had only that kind of mind arises. Then Buddha also could know his mind. Mostly people know him as Anathapindika. Mostly they don't call him his name. Then Buddha called, Sudatta, please come. He was very happy. He could believe he's a real Buddha. So that kind of thing also happened. Actually, there are many similar stories in the Nikaya. So there's also the way to practice to read people's mind. It is also a kind of psychic power. Okay, now 7. Supernormal power such as diving into earth, walking on the water, sitting on the sky, on the space, that kind of thing, right? This is called 𝐼𝐷. This is very strong psychic power. So now, modern society, we cannot find that kind of psychic power also. Even the Buddha himself displayed two miracles before he gave Dhamma Talk in Devarams. Also, you may also have known why the Buddha laid down that kind of rules. When Venerable Pindola Bharadaja displayed miracle power, then many people ask him to show. We haven't seen. We want to see again. Then it became very noisy in the city. Became very big rumor in the city. That is why Buddha prohibited not to display psychic power or miracle power. There will be some limitation, okay? Mostly, if something is something special, we must not show it. Then again, 8. The knowledge of distraction taint. We call asavakkhaya jnana. Actually, when we say asavakkhaya jnana, this means arhataship. These are called vijja. For ordinary people, we have inside knowledge. This is possible for everybody if we try hard. For other things, it will be more difficult. Actually, 2 to 7, they are psychic power. So based on kasinas, we have to practice up to 8 attainment in every single kasinas. Then we have to also train 14 ways all the attainments and all the kasinas. After that, we can proceed practicing recollection of past lives or divine ears, or divine eyes, reading people's mind. If we have enough parami, we can tame it. If we don't have enough parami, we cannot attain that kind of sacred power. But the main thing is, for ordinary people, we have inside knowledge. Until what level should we practice? So Bodhisattva himself, in many lives, practice anti-sankarupa kanyana, the knowledge of equanimity towards formation. But for ordinary people, if we don't have strong concentration or many other obstacles or impediments, also not that easy, right? Then Lady Sayadaw's approach. Then he said, in the case of parami for disciple, ordinary disciple, then when we are going to fulfill parami in vicca and in charana, if a meditator can practice 4 elements, this also can be considered as a vicca. Only the intention must be right. For example, if we practice 4-element meditation to attain nibbana, it will be vicca. If we practice 4 elements or vipassana for fame or for gain or for popularity, it will be charana. It cannot be vicca. So according to Lady Sayadaw's point of view, at least we must be able to discern 4 elements to fulfill parami or to have vicca. So if we can do more than that, it will be more effective. We can say we have stronger parami. Now we should move to another one. 15 types of conduct, charana. So here we have already listed out 15 charana. 1, sila, morality or precepts. So everybody has to know what is really called morality. In our daily life also, we take precepts, or we also follow rules and regulations. Especially for Bhikkhu, we have to follow Vinaya rules, right? These are all called morality, sila. Then 2, indriya samvara, restraint of sense faculties. Okay, here sense faculties means we have to guard our sense doors in order not to enter defilements. And not to distract by defilements. So that means sometimes when we see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, and think something undesirable or something desirable, there will be defilements. So to overcome defilements, we must have restraint of sense faculties. Actually, in this case, we must be more mindful. If we are mindful, it's possible to have indriya samvara. Then 3, bhojane matanyuta, moderation in eating. Actually, we should translate moderating in food is much better. So what does it mean moderation in food? Actually, when we go for pindapata, or when we are going to accept the food, we must accept the food only the amount we can consume. This is also one other thing. Not only that, we must also accept only suitable food for us. This is also called bhojane matanyuta. This is accepting or receiving. Actually, when we are eating also, we must have only proper amount and suitable food for us. This is called Bhojana Madanyuta. Then you may have already known contentment. In the another name of contentment, we can also understand Yatha Sarupa Sandosa. That means we just have contentment with whatever suitable for us. Another thing is Yatha Bala. Yatha Bala means as much as we can use. For example, if we keep many extra food, although we cannot eat, right? We may accept many food. We also keep many food in our hand. And devotee also cannot eat. Kabi also cannot eat. This is wasting. So not only suitable thing, we also have to accept only whatever we can use or we can consume. This is also called moderating food. Another thing is we can also say Yatha Labha. Yatha Labha means whatever we get. So sometimes we don't have contentment with what we get, what we have got. We need to get more, and become very greedy. This is also no contentment. So in the case of Bhojana Madanyuta, we must have contentment with the food. So accept only the amount we can consume, accept only suitable food for us. So sometimes in Pendapata, there are many donors. They offer a lot of food. If we reject, they are not very happy. We have to accept all the things. But when we are going to eat, we must eat only suitable, proper amount and also suitable food. This is also called Bhojana Madanyuta. Now 4, Jagriya Nuyoga, devotion to wakefulness. So that means if we are lazy, whenever we are free, just lying down on the bed, right? It's a bad habit. So Jagriya Nuyoga means we have a less sleeping, more meditation, more learning. This is called Jagriya Nuyoga. So according to commentary, for example, in the daytime, we can do standing, sitting, walking. So in the first watch of the night, also they say sitting or walking or standing. The middle watch of the night, lying down and then take a rest or sleep. Then the last watch of the night, get up again. If you feel drowsy, okay, walking meditation, standing meditation. After that, sitting meditation. So this is called Jagriya Nuyoga. So whenever we are free, if we lie down on the bed, this is not Jagriya Nuyoga. This is laziness, right? Okay, now next one, Saddha, faith. Actually, I have already talked about faith many times, right? So briefly, if we have unshakable faith, this is called Charana. Sometimes we believe easily also. If somebody say, oh, there's a heart in somewhere, we don't have any knowledge. We just follow people, see Arhat. Then there's that monastery is very famous. Just go there. We are very easy to believe. When somebody could declare he's Arhat, also people believe easily. This is not Saddha. In this kind of case, we should have wisdom. Okay, for example, if somebody say, I'm Anagami, how can we know he's Anagami? Very clear part of Anagami is taking 10 precepts. That means They will not break 10 precepts. This is very clear. They will not get angry, no worry, no anxiety. It's very clear. Okay, here, if we say saddha, it doesn't mean blind faith or belief in many ritual. This is also not really called saddha. In the case of saddha, it's unshaken faith in the truth and the Dhamma. Sometimes we may have a doubt about some of the people, some of the practitioners. Okay, this is it. If they have something, if they have done something doubtful, sure we will have doubt. Other than we may have shaken mind, right? This kind of case is an exception. So as long as according to Buddha's teaching, according to the order of practice, of the order of teaching, or the order of eradication or abandonment, then we may believe this is called saddha. Okay, saddha doesn't mean we must have blind faith, right? We must believe everything. We must believe in trustworthy one. Then sati, mindfulness. This is also very important part. Everywhere we talk about sati, mindfulness. Right? Everywhere we talk about, right? Many part of Buddha teaching also talk about sati, mindfulness. So if we are aware of our breathing, aware of namarupas, so we can improve our spiritual life. Then 7, hiri, moderation. 8, ottappa, moderate fear, or fear of wrongdoing. Actually, I have already explained this one under the name of mental factors. Okay, moderation and moderate fear means we hesitate to do something wrong, something very bad. This is called moderation and moderate fear. So we can also understand a few more different things. For example, we have knowledge. Then we also have empowerment. So sometimes we also remind ourselves, oh, I'm a knowledgeable one, I should not do it like this. Respecting ourselves, our own value. Similarly, if I do something wrong, it will affect my community. Then also respect our community. And this is also called ottappa. So here ottappa comes from respect. Okay, now 9, bahusacca, great learning, theory and practice. So when we say bahusacca, bahu means many. Sacca comes from sutta. Sutta means hearing or listening. That's why last night I said, right, when we are going to learn, listen more. If we can listen more, we can get more knowledge. If we're trying to talk too much, then it's not that much effective in learning. So whenever the Buddha talk about bahusacca or bahusutta or sutta, it means we learn 1 nikayas, 2 nikayas, 3 nikayas, 4 nikayas, 5 nikayas, together with its analyzing meaning, or ultimate sense. All the things are called bahusacca. Sometimes, although we read the sutta, the many parts are not very quite clear. So we have to make everything clear. We have to clarify the meaning of the sutta. Actually, if we read in our own language, for example, I may read in English or in Myanmar language, some of the explanations are not that deep meaning. When we read the Pali, we have very deep meaning. We can absorb better. That is why if we can learn Nikaya, we will be more knowledgeable. I have to remind many people, most of the Dhamma learners or listeners, they just read many books written by many scholars. Also in Myanmar, they were read many books written by many Sayadaws. In Thailand also, many ajahns, right? So written by many ajahns, they will read many books like this. So when we read Tipitaka, then we will see the Buddha. When we read many books written by scholars or Sayados or ajahns, we just see Sayadaw, ajahns, and scholar. We don't see the Buddha. So sometimes I also give some simile to Myanmar listener. I haven't talked to many people here, right? That means Buddha teaching is like a trunk of the tree. It is strong, firm, and straight. All the scholar and teachers or ajahns or anybody, right? If we write books, we add our own idea. It's like a branch of the tree. So you can also imagine which one is stronger, trunk of the tree and the branches. Mostly trunk is stronger. Branches are a little bit weaker. So that was why if we can study or read Buddha's teaching, original one, it will be more effective, more beneficial. This is called Bohu Satya. Then Viriya, energy or effort. I think everybody knows this Pali well. That means we use body energy and mental energy. We make body effort or mental effort. This is called Viriya. So we also have many different levels. For example, before encountering difficulty, we have viriya, right? We call initial effort. So initial effort means, okay, you can also recall your school life. The first day when you attend the school, you were very active. You haven't encountered any difficulty. When you start encountering difficulties, then we can know how strong you are. Okay, if we say briefly, initial effort is also important. We have to stop many things. When we encounter difficulty, we need reinforcing effort. Then we must be brave enough to face difficulty. This is also one part of effort. Okay, now many people, right? Even previous Dhamma Talk, there's one question now. Although practicing many years, you cannot practice successfully in Anapanasati, should I change, for example, right? Don't get back easily. That means this is difficulty. If you are strong enough, you can face and you can overcome it. So in the middle, we need reinforcing effort, reinforcing energy. Then after that, we must complete our duties or our practice or our learning. So that means we can say completing. This also we need effort. So if we are not strong enough, we will stop anywhere, anytime, any condition. If we are strong enough, we will complete. This comes from Viriya. It comes from how strong we are. And now, 10, Panya, wisdom. Actually, Panya have many levels. I have already explained before. But I also have explained, whenever the Buddha talk about Panya, actually it must be Udayabhaya Jnana, the knowledge of reason and perception. So that one is called Panya, wisdom. Okay, now the last one, 12 to 15. So the first jhana, second jhana, the third jhana, fourth jhana. These are called conduct. So if we are fulfilling parami, we must have vijhana and charana. These are called parami, perfection. This is a minimum. Or if we summarize all the conduct, it also can be dana, it also can be sila, it also can be samatha, it also can be some types of vipassana. So we have already mentioned the previous one, which are knowledge. So at the time, inside knowledge, if we practice vipassana to be famous or for popularity or for gain, it's not vijja, it's charana. If we practice vipassana to attain nibbana, is it knowledge, vijja. So sometimes we know the truth very late. Right? Why it's happened? It comes from our parami, perfection. Vijjana and charana. Charana will send you to the proper place, to the proper teacher, to the proper tradition, to the proper practice. This is also important. That vijja will lead you to attain path and fruition knowledge. There are different power of vijjana and charana. Okay, we have one example. Most Paul also said that one, right? For example, Ajata Sadhu. If he didn't kill his father, he could attain Sadapati path and fruition knowledge at the end of Samanyapala Sutta. So why this happen? Now, although he had a chance to listen very long discourse, he could not attain path and fruition knowledge. He had vijja seed. He has a vijja. His charana is weak. That's why he met Devadatta earlier than Buddha. So when he met the Buddha, he has already committed mighty Kamma. So since he had committed mighty Kamma, he cannot attain any path and fruition knowledge. So this is just an example. So there are many other examples. Some of, for example, like in the case of Visakha, for example, since 7 years old, she met the Buddha. She didn't Sotapanna. She has both vijjana and charana. So she could attain easily. So vijjana, charana, these two are very important for our parami. So if we summarize, vijjana means knowledge. The vipassana, utterly 4 element practice to attain for attainment on nibbana. Then for about charana, it can be dana, sila, samatha, and also vipassana, expecting gain or faith. Okay, now today we should introduce 16 insight knowledges. Salasa vipassana jnanani. Namarupa parichera jnana. The knowledge of distinction between mind and matter. Actually, we can also say discerning how nama mentalities and rupa mentality are separated but interdependent. We have already mentioned in the very beginning about mental process. For example, when we see something, there are many other conditions. We must have eye translucency. Also, visible object must be clear enough. Then there must be the light. And we must also have intention. Combinations of all these namarupa, we see it. Actually, Rupa alone cannot see. Nama alone also cannot see, right? No object. Okay. In this case, there are many other discernments. For example, here although we use Nama Rupa Paricheda, if we are pure Upasana vehicle, it can be Rupa first. So when we are going to discern Rupa, there are also many steps. For example, 4 elements as the basics. If we can discern well, we move to the right materialities. We call Upada Rupa. After discerning well, we have to combine 4 elements and then the right materialities together. Although Rupa meditation, we can divide into 3 different parts. So after discerning Nama also, we have to discern together, Nama and Rupa together. This is called Nama Rupa Paricheda Jnana. So at the time of Nama Rupa Paricheda Jnana, since we have already break down the comparateness, we already mentioned 4 types of comparateness, right? Okay, here I should say a few of them. For example, continuity comparateness. So that means all the rupas and nama arise as a city, as a process. Now this is the comparateness of synthesis. They arise as a groove. So every mind moment, mentality arise together. In every single particles, many rupa arise together. If we can break down this kind of comparateness, we can also overcome identity view. We already mentioned identity view, right? And at the time of Nama Rupa Paricheda, we can overcome identity view. If we cannot overcome it, then we are not successful yet. Okay, 2. Paccaya Parikaha Jnana. The knowledge of conditionality. We also understand as the knowledge of cause apprehension. That means we know the cause of mentality and materialities. So here also I mentioned understanding how mentality and materiality arises due to causes and conditions like contact, volition, consciousness, and so on. So there are many other parts we have to explain. If we say easier way, in the case of Paccaya Parikaha Jnana, we must be able to practice dependent origination. Also, it also can be patana relationship of Nama Rupa. Then there are many ways to discern about Paccaya Parikaha Jnana. Okay, what to overcome here? In the case of Paccaya Parikaha Jnana, we must be able to overcome 16 types of doubt. We have mentioned before. 5 doubts about present, past, 5 doubts about future, 6 doubts about present, right? We have already mentioned that one, right? This is called Paccaya Parikaha Jnana. So that means we must know past causes, past lives. Then there are also some people, right? This is Naya Vipassana. If we can just know the past by imagine. For example, as we had Nama Rupa, now we also have Nama Rupa in the past. This is also called Paccaya Parikaha Jnana. They also have that kind of explanation. Actually, this is actually not acceptable, right? So but that means by imagining, we cannot overcome doubt about the past, present, future. If we ourselves see past and future, we may overcome the doubt. So another thing is a dependent origination. For example, avijja paccaya sankhara. Ignorance and information can arise in the same life. Now we have ignorance, we also do many kusala and akusala. In this body life, we have many ojana and sankhara. The sankhara pajya vinyana. Because of sankhara, vinyana arise. The vinyana is a river linking consciousness. So this life reverse is the very beginning. So that means sankhara must be in the past. So that means this life sankhara cannot produce this life rebirth. Right? If this life sankhara produce this life rebirth, we will pass away many times. We will reborn many times. We can change our appearance or everything, right? So that means past sankhara produce this life. If we say sankhara pacha vinyana, we must know what kind of sankhara in the past produce this life. That's why in the case of pacha brihanyana, we must know and see past lives and their causes. Okay, now 3. Samasana jnana. The knowledge of comprehension. Comprehending mentality as anicca, dukkha, anatta in a general way. This just say briefly, right? Actually, there are many ways of contemplation in samasana jnana. So, as I have mentioned here, nama rupa. Mentality also anicca, dukkha, anatta. Mentality also anicca, dukkha, anatta. For mentality also anicca, dukkha, anatta. This is also one of the way. Okay, according to Krisamida Magga and Visuddhi Magga, it mentions many other ways of contemplation. Then we can also quote very easy sutta. Because very easy means everybody knows the sutta, right? This is Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. The second discourse to 5 bhikkhu. So according to the sutta, you may also have known 11 categories of 5 aggregates. For example, Rupa Khanda, material aggregates, past, present, future, internal, external, superior and inferior, gross and subtle, near and far. Altogether, we have 11 categories. Okay, now we should multiply, right? 11 categories multiplied by 5 aggregates. Then every single aggregate, there's also anicca, dukkha, anatta. So 11 category multiplied by 5 means 55, right? Then multiplied by 3 again. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Altogether, there will be 165. Right? 65 ways of discernment. Samasana jnana. This is a 5 aggregate method. So if we discern 12 base method, you can also multiply again. 12 base multiplied by 11. After that, multiply by 3. Okay, we can also have 18 elements method. So multiply by 11 categories, multiply by anicca, dukkha, anatta. So there are many ways of contemplation here. This is called samasana jnana. So when should we start contemplating as anicca, dukkha, anatta? Is actually samasana jnana. When we are discerning nama or rupa, or when we are discerning cause and effect relationship, don't talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta. Don't think about anicca, dukkha, anatta too much. After discerning all the cause and effect relationship, that means we have all the facility. We can start walking. So nama rupa paricheda jnana is just call it a material or instrument. Paccapparika jnana also call it a material or instrument. Samasana jnana, we start walking using all the instruments. Okay, this is it, the first part. Then we have the next one. Udayabhaya Jnana. Knowledge of rising and passing away. Clearly seeing phenomena arise, immediately pass away. Also, usually accompanied by joy, clarity, and sharp mindfulness. Okay, now this is actually very important part in Vipassana. Udayabhaya Jnana can divide into two different parts. The first part is Karuna Vipassana. We also translate tender knowledge. Right? Very, maybe not so strong yet, we call Karuna Vipassana. Now the Balawa Vipassana, powerful Vipassana. Also Udayabhaya Jnana. So this is a special part. So if inside knowledge is not very strong yet, we can also experience many impurity of Vipassana. For example, seeing very bright light. Okay, one more thing here, right? Sometimes many people, when they start seeing the light or when they see very bright light, they think they have achieved Udayabhaya Jnana. Even in Anapanasati, you can see the light. Right? This is the normal. In the case of Udayabhaya Jnana, the light is so strong that the meditator can misunderstand as a Megaphala or attaining Nibbana. That kind of brightness. That's why this is called Taruna Vipassana. Not strong yet, not mature yet. Not only that, there are many other impurity. For example, tranquility. Very strong tranquility. When the mind becomes very quiet, we can also think we have attained Nibbana. Similarly, very strong rapture or joy. Another thing is a very strong attachment to inside knowledge. So sometimes inside knowledge becomes very strong and very powerful. We can see Namarupa clearer than before. So all the things can happen. Also, we also think this is a inside knowledge. We can also understand this is a Megaphala. We can misunderstand. So this is a junction of Vipassana. If we follow impurity, we will be blocked there. We cannot improve anymore. So here we already mentioned arising and passing away. We have two parts. We can also discern arising stage. We can also discern perishing stage. Two different parts. When you study Mahasatipatthana Sutta, in every single chapter, for example, Anapanasati chapter, right? At the end, you can also find Iti Achatawa Kaye Kanubasi Viharati, Vedawa Kaye Kanubasi Viharati, Achata Vedawa Kaye Kanubasi Viharati. Thus you can contemplate body and the body internally and externally, both internally and externally. This is one part, right? After that, we can find another one. Samudaya Dhamma Nubasi. This is actually arising stage. Vaya Dhamma Nubasi. This is a perishing stage. So here in the case of Udayabhaya Jnana, in the arising stage also, there are many cause of a relationship, cause of arising and cause of perishing. So if we can do this one, okay, I will not elaborate very much in detail because previous I have already mentioned, right? Samasana Jnana, 164, right? Okay, now, Udayabhaya Jnana, only arising stage, Samudaya Dhamma Nubasi, 25 ways of discernment. Vaya Dhamma Nubasi, 25 ways of discernment. Samudaya Vaya Dhamma Nubasi combined together, 50 ways of discernment. So there are many ways to discern in this part also. So after practicing all the methods, Inside knowledge become very mature and strong and powerful enough, we can also overcome all the impurity. Then there are many other ways we can practice. Here we can go to Banganyana again. In the case of Banganyana, arising stage, or the knowledge of dissolution, noting only the disappearance of phenomena, arising fade from perception. Okay, that means at the time of Udaya Jnana, we can also see very rapid arising and variation of Nama Rupas. We can see clearer and clearer the moment you arising and variation. Finally, it becomes very fast and become very clear. We cannot see arising stage anymore. We just see only variation stage. This is called Banganyana. Okay, another one. 6. Bhayanyana, the knowledge of fearfulness, realizing the danger and instability in all conditions phenomena. It is called, although we say fearfulness, it doesn't mean we're scared of something or we are afraid of something. Here, fear means only Namarupa. Right? For example, we know the danger. For example, then you may have seen many people, they go for fishing. They fish by hand, for example, right? Fish by hand. Then in the water, they thought this is eel, so hole in the neck. But when he pull out, it becomes snake. He's scared, right? He throw away. And similarly, in the beginning, we have very strong attachment to this body. Finally, we can know the rising and variation, only variation stage. We know the nature of Nama Rupa. Then there will be the knowledge of danger, the knowledge of fear. Okay, another one, 7. Arinava Jnana, knowledge of danger or disadvantages, seeing drawbacks or conditions, existence more deeply. Okay, in this case, Arinava, we can also say like seeing the force of aggregate, force of Namarupa. Disadvantages of Namarupa also, we can say, right? This is called Arinava. So this also, actually there are many things to explain in this case. I already mentioned before, right? Like a danger in the Bhayanyana, I already mentioned. Here also to see the same. Existence, many life, we have already suffered from it. We know the force or disadvantages of aggregate and mentalities. Another one, Nibbida Jnana, the knowledge of disenchantment, a sense of wearies and turning away from samsara arises. Okay, here we have many different simile. For example, after taking shower, then we don't want to go to very dirty place. And we don't want to do a very dirty job because we have already taken shower. This is the nature of Nibbida Jnana. After knowing and seeing the danger of Namarupa, the disadvantages of Namarupa, then they will not have any attachment to this body anymore. This is called disenchantment. Right? Okay, then 9. 𝐼𝐶 Jnana, the knowledge of desire for deliverance or liberation. A strong desire to be free from the unsatisfactory conditions existences. Okay, here a few more explanations. Actually, there are many explanations also. When we talk about 𝐼𝐶, I should say a few simile. For example, if somebody is arrested and imprisoned, he will wait for release. Similarly, he is waiting for release from samsara, release from conditional namarupa, and five brigade, and so on. The Parisankha, the knowledge of reflection or re-observation, strategically observing causes and effects with deepened equanimity and effort. Okay, a few more things here we should elaborate. In the case of Parisankha, actually, when we discern dependent origination, we can do only dependent origination factors. We're going to discern cause effect that much in detail, because it's above Banga already, right? Okay, now the last one, among the worldly insight knowledges, Sankarupa Kanyana, the knowledge of equanimity towards formation. Actually, in this case, very balanced, steady, and non-reactive mindfulness are crucial mature insight before path knowledge arises. This is the last part of worldly insight knowledges. A few things I have to clarify here. So you may have seen 8 Nibbida Jnana. Okay, we should go to previous page. 6 Bhaya Jnana. 7 Adinava Jnana. 8 Nibbida Jnana. Actually, they have the same nature. Also the same discernment, but just different name. Okay, here I should say a few more things. Bhaya Jnana, right? Also Adinava Jnana, Nibbida Jnana, right? So if we say Bhaya Jnana, they also mention it will become manifest naturally. It will manifest naturally. For other things, it doesn't mention like this. That means Bhaya Jnana will appear naturally. Just keep doing our own practice. But for other practice, we have method. For example, Bhanga Jnana, we have method. For example, insight knowledge also, Namarupa also anicca, insight knowledge also anicca. We have that kind of discernment. So there are many other discernment also. Similarly, Mochitu Kamera Jnana, Parisankha Jnana, Sankarupa Jnana, they are also actually the same way of practice, a different name. In reality, after Bhanga Jnana, all other insight knowledge can arise within a few seconds also. It can be a few minutes also. It can be a few hours, a few days also possible. Right? So Bhanga Jnana, after Bhanga Jnana, we can say it's a turning point. Okay, now the last part of insight knowledge, Anuloma Jnana, Ghotadabu Jnana. Anuloma Jnana means the knowledge of adaptation, because of the conformity. The mind perfectly aligned with the Noble Eightfold Paths. Ghotadabu Jnana is also knowledge of maturity, because the change of lineage. The final moment of worldly Purujana before entering Noble lineage. Actually, although we say Anuloma Jnana, Ghotadabu Jnana, these are in the same mental process. Only one mental process with Megaphala. 14, Mega Jnana, knowledge of the past. The momentary realization of Nibbana, destroying defilements, appropriate to that stage. Sodapati, remove Sagaditi, and so on, right? The Phala Jnana, knowledge of fruition, follows Mega Jnana, experiencing the peace of Nibbana. Then 16, Petrokana Jnana, the knowledge of reviewing past, defilement destroying, and the quality of gains. These are called Petrokana Jnana. Last night, I have already talked about Petrokana Jnana. We can discern we can review path knowledge, fruition knowledge, nibbana, the defilement destroying or remaining defilement. These are called Pachakana Jnana. So these are 16 insight knowledges. On the last page, actually, up to 12, 30, 14, 50, these are in the same mental process. That's why for our bodily knowledge, we can say Sankalpa Jnana is the highest for contemplation. Okay, these are insight knowledge that we have to learn. Okay, if we summarize, we have already talked about which are these are insight knowledges. These are also vijja. So we need parami. Then we must fulfill our parami also, right? So we can start with 4 elements or anything as a foundation. This is also possible. Okay, the workings of karma is very wide in Buddhism. Today is the last day, right? Very wide. It's also very profound. Within 9 days, we cannot approach, actually. Right? We cannot explain everything of workings of karma. So there are many other textbooks, many other explanations, and many other textbooks also. Actually, if we can recognize our daily life, and how is our karma in our daily life, is it good enough? If our daily life is full of wholesome karma, sure, then we are happy living beings. If our life is full of agusala, it's miserable life, not that much valuable. So we have already talked about recollection of many things, right? So now every night, if we can recall what kind of kusala I have accumulated today, what kind of knowledge I have already learned today, it will be more meaningful. So every single day, we should check wholesome karma or unwholesome karma we are accumulating, or our knowledge, our health, our improvement. If we can be aware of our daily life, we can improve also. Right? So may you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering. Okay, now we can go.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Thank you, Sayadaw. Sayadaw, shall we go to the Q&A?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Question 1. What did you? Vandami Sayadaw, why are hiri and ottappa so important to be included in the 15 types of conduct? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Actually, according to Anguttara Nikaya, hiri ottappas are the protecting factors of the world. If we don't have hiri ottappa, human being will be same to animal. They may not respect their parents, their grandparents, aunts, uncles, or anything, anybody. That's why hiri ottappa is the protector of the world. One more thing here. Without hiri ottappa, then we're going to have a morality. Hiri ottappa is the proximate cause of morality. That's why they are important. Without morality, our life is not that much valuable. Right? So you can also practically imagine in your community, there are many people, they break precepts. Rather than even they lost their confidence also, finally. It becomes meaningless. Right? Okay, that means moral shame and moral fear. Hiri ottappa is very important to have morality. Without morality, we can also do concentration and many other things, right? They are foundations of morality. Okay. Next one.
So, question 2, Vandami Sayadaw, could Sayadaw share with us about the Buddha's virya? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Actually, it's very clear also, right? Buddha has very little sleeping time. You can imagine. Very intelligent, right? Actually, we have some like a analysis of Buddha's daily life. For example, in the daytime, right? We call Puripada. That means before meal. There's a Buddha's routine. Schedule of what Buddhas were doing, right? That kind of schedule. There was a Bachapada after meal, also mentioned what Buddha was doing. Okay, similarly, we also have the first watch of the night, mostly. Many devotees come and get Dhamma Talk at night, right? So after around midnight, or around midnight, many divine beings approach Buddha, ask questions. Then the last watch of the night, also Buddha was given Dhamma Talk, right? Got up very early. That means Buddha just lying down and just enter into fruition attainment for relax. Very few moments, right? That's why Buddha's working whole day. This is about his life after enlightenment. Before enlightenment, you can also see 6 years in Uruvela. Although he encountered many difficulties, his body is a very painful and a very strong tension in his head, in his body. He didn't give up. You can also see many pictures, right? Skinny and bony. Because eating very little. Although he has a lot of suffering, he didn't give up. This is a vidya as a bodhisattva. After enlightenment, okay, don't talk about his vidya, right? In this one.
Question 3. Wanamai Sayadaw. Sayadaw explained about the habitual karma during the last lesson. Many people, as they get older, their old habits and personality become stronger and stronger. There is a saying, old habits are hard to break. Are there any effective ways to change these old habits, especially the bad ones? For our old parents, are there any way for us to help them change their old habits for their benefit? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, okay, if your own benefit, maybe your own changing is possible. If you are willing to change, it's changeable, right? So mostly all habits are very difficult to change, but if you are willing, it's possible to change. It will take longer time. One more thing, for about parents, don't expect too much. You know, although you are very old, they may not think you are smart enough, strong enough. In their eyes, you are still kids. Right? This is the nature of our parents. Right? Radically, my parents. I'm nearly 50 years old. But they still treat me like a kid. Right? This is the nature of parents. Okay, one more thing. If you want to help your parents, there must be somebody who can influence your parents. It will be better. Right? So if somebody influential one, correct them, they will follow. Only that kind of thing you can do. Okay? Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Question 4. Wanami Sayadaw, how the past life avijja, tanha, upadana, sankara, and karma affect a person's habit or ways of living or thinking in current daily life? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, we cannot say only avijja, tanha, upadana, sankara, right? Actually, any of karma in the past can function. Okay? So, that means when we talk about pubbicakata punyata, karma, right? Then every karma can be vasina vasana. Okay, maybe I should show one of the slides. Okay. Not that easy, right? I cannot find out. Okay. So, okay, briefly, we have many karmas. Okay, let me check, right? Nice one. This one. Nice one. Why? Okay, sorry. Okay, I will show. I will share on the slide, right? I will share on the slide. Actually, what these are? Okay, the Kamma. Now you can see, right? 9 types of Kamma function 𝐾𝐚𝐭𝐞. Okay, here we just here the Kamma, right? Ayurveda 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, these are 5 𝐸𝐸𝐸, right? Okay, another thing is Kamma, right? So 9 types of Kamma function. The first one, Vipaka 𝐾𝐚𝐿. The functions of producing result and fruit of Kamma. This is one thing. Another thing is Asivana 𝐾𝐚𝐿. The function of repetition, habituation of action. Actually, our past habit also influence this life. Not because of Vijatana Upadana, right? So now Upanishya 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of providing supporting condition. Vasivasana 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of developing mastery through repeated practice. Okay, one more thing here. If we say Vasi, this is mastery. Vasana means hobby. It also can be our hobby. Our hobby also produced by our Kamma. Anusaya 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of latent tendency or disposition. This is a very thin. Charita 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of developing behavioral patterns or temperament. Ajasaya 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of developing mental natural inclination, dispositions. Adhimukti 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of developing strong determination, resolution. Paramisambhara 𝐾𝐚𝐿, the function of accumulating perfection. Actually, these are the functions of Kamma. Okay, not because of Tanha or Upadana like this, right? Okay. And the next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw.
礼敬西亚多，有些人的性格是不认命，但这种性格有可能会走进一种死角，比如固执。请问西亚多如何分辨自己是否是精进、勇敢、勇猛的，在任何状况下都有突破万难的精神，而不是固执呢？
When the Sayadaw, somebody they may have the characters of not give up to his faith. He will try his best to do and to do bravely. So in order to overcome all the problem, how to know this type of character is not stubborn?
Actually, sometime, okay, I already mentioned Saddha, confidence, right? If confidence is improper, it becomes mana. I already explained that one. Okay, among the mana also, I have already mentioned 2 types of mana. Accepting the truth, not accepting the truth. Right? So if we know the truth, then we can change. Then we accept the truth. That kind of mana is okay. Flexible, right? Although we know the truth, if we don't want to change, then mana is toxic. Then we're going to do anything. This is not Saddha anymore. This is the mana. Stubborn, arrogance, right? Next one.
Question 6 is an Indonesian question. May we invite Bande Ankura to translate?
Wandami Sayadaw,
Pertanyaan 6. Wandami
you want to ask
Sayadaw, izin bertanya
if
berkaitan dengan keraguan
vicikicca,
muncul saat
doubt
teman menyampaikan
arise when the
pencapaian
friend
goal tertentu sebagai
say
seorang
about
arahat. Apakah memiliki keraguan
the attainment
seperti
of
ini
some
adalah
teacher
keburukan?
that
Bagaimana
teacher
cara
already become
menghilangkan
arahat.
keraguan seperti ini? Anumodana
Does
atas
this
penjelasan
kind
Sayadaw.
of doubt
Sadu.
is a kind of wrongdoing? How to overcome this kind of doubt? Thank you for Sayadaw's explanation. Sadhu.
Okay. Actually, okay, many arhat, right? We can also say habit. For example, we have one arhat.
Sangat banyak arah.
Okay, he has habit of abusive words. You know, this is the sin. He was lay person. He had that kind of habit. Also, many life, he had the same habit. So, as arhat, they cannot eradicate habit and a hobby. Okay, especially hobby, right? They cannot hobby or habits, but they can eradicate defilements. Some of the behavior are just right, the habitual behavior. For example, I already mentioned anagami, for example. In our modern society, many people, they declare they are arhat or anagami or something, right? But they have bank accounts, they have a lot of money, right? They also have bank cards, smart card, right? Not how to go? Smart card, right? They also have that kind of card. So, anagami will not handle money, but they still have money. That kind of thing is very clear, right? So, okay, another thing is that worry, anxiety, they don't have anything. This is very clear. So sometimes, okay, we have, when you see bad, because of bad behavior, you have doubt. In this kind of case, we have to check his lifestyle, how he grew up. Although he grew up very good, everything, then still have bad behavior. In this case, you should have doubt. You can also believe it's not arhat yet, right? Okay, we can say briefly, behavior or come from habit also possible. Some of the behavior not come from habit or hobby. Right? This is a purposely doing. If habit or hobby, then you must understand he can be arhat. If no habit of the past, this is not truth, no arhat. Okay?
礼敬悉亚多，请问无宵夜在凡夫身上如何体现？无宵夜是否可以理解为此业永远都不会产生果报了？
Sayadaw, how to understand ahosi karma in Puthujjana? How it will manifest? Is it that the ahosi karma is those karma that will never produce vipaka again, even in the future?
We cannot say like that as Puthujjana, right? So we don't, as Puthujjana, we cannot guarantee. Only when we can take arhatship, sure, we can guarantee no more results, right? As Puthujjana, so if we are going to do many akusala karma this very life, so present affected karma will give result. If we pass away, next life it will be right. We can say subsequently affected karma. Okay, if we pass away second life, maybe from that life to nirvana, it can be indefinitely affected karma. When we enter nirvana, many of karma will be ahosi karma, right? We cannot say before attaining arhatship.
Yeah. Thank you, Sayadaw. Mandami Sayadaw, I understand that some good and bad habits cannot be eradicated even for noble ones. What are some examples of such habits? Is this classified as also habitual karma? Is it this due to the bhavanga mind? What's the difference of these habits to latent tendency anusaya? Sadhu.
Actually, okay, when we say habit, right? I already mentioned it's come from karma also. For example, I already mentioned Venerable Mahamoggallana. Many passages he's a little bit, right? Maybe a little bit cross person, we can say, right? When you study many Jataka stories, so sometimes when he trying to defeat somebody, he used very strong fox. But in this very life, they say, when he is going to tame Nanabananda, he used very strong fox. Right? This is his habit, we can say. So since he was an arhat, it's not habitual karma. This is just a habit, no karma anymore. Right? Okay, in this case, we cannot say bhavanga mind. So bhavanga, right? Bhavanga mind is just functional. Sorry, bhavanga mind is just, we can say, resultant, right? It's not active actually. So if we say one more thing, difference between habit and latent tendency, this is very different. Okay, sometimes we just habit, we don't have intention. Right? So latent tendency, this is, we can say, underlying defilements. Underlying defilements mean when something happens, all the defilement will arise. This is called anusaya, latent tendency. So habit can be good and bad. Latent tendency is it come from defilements. We call underlying defilements. Okay? Another thing?
Question 9, Vandami Sayadaw. Is it correct to understand in this way? The first three types of sampati, vipatti is caused by past karma, while the fourth type is making present karma this life from thought, speech, action. In that case, is it correct to say that everything good, bad experience is related to sampati, vipatti, and past or present karma? Even good or bad luck is related to karma. So literally everything that happens is somehow related to past or present life karma. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. We can say related to past or present karma, sure. We can say like this one is correct, right? Okay. For example, like Ubri Sampati, right? Now modern society is changeable, right? Ubri is changeable, right? So Gati Sampati unchangeable is past karma, very clear. Right? Another thing is the Kala Sampati. For example, okay, now we have some disaster in Myanmar, we can change to other country. We have some problem in Myanmar, we can change to another country, right? So now modern society is changeable. Okay, the main thing is some of them can be both past karma and present karma. Some of them are only past karma. For example, Gati Sampati, Gati Upati, we cannot change anymore. Right? You know this one?
Thank you, Sayadaw. Question 10 is a Vietnamese question. May I respectfully ask for your guidance? After analyzing the dependent origination using method 5, should I then proceed to practice with method 1? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, there are many other methods also, right? In power, we just do 5 and 1. So we don't teach 2, 3, 4. If you want to go 2, 3, 4, so okay. Because the method 5 is fifth method is a little bit easier because the aggregate method, right, is easier. That's why we teach this one. Another one is the first method is also just follow the cause and effect relationship, the order, Vijapajja Sankhara, that kind of relationship, right? So you can start with anyone, but in power, we just use easier one first. I'd rather go to difficult one. Okay, you can follow any procedure, it's okay. And this one?
礼敬西亚多，关于大财长者子的故事，佛陀说，只要他在不同的年纪出家，都能证得不同的圣道果位，那说明他还是有很大的福报的。请问是什么不善业造成他错过佛法修行呢？
Vandami Sayadaw, regarding the story about the treacherous sons, who, if as the Buddha say, if he ordains at different stages of age, he can attain different stages of Arya Magga and Phala.
Sure.
That means he have a lots of merits. So he would like to ask, what are the akusala karma that make him miss the chance to practice?
Okay, we can also say both, right? We cannot know what kind of akusala karma. One more thing, we can say he has a lack of charana. He has a vijja, in the past. One of the parami, right? Which is in the past. But he does not have charana, good charana in the past. That's why he cannot see right teacher at the right time. Okay.
礼敬悉亚多，请问尊者，演员的业会不会让他成为一种习惯而变成性格，导致业果更坏？
Vandami Sayadaw, for actors, would they accumulate karma that's become a habit, from habits develops into his character and become bad karma?
Okay, clear, right?
Actor as
attracts me in the movie.
Actors, movie actors,
I say,
would they cultivate habits, from habits to character, and because of that, it will accumulate more akusala karma.
okay, it depends on them also, right? So we don't know what kind of character they have to act in the movie, right? For example, he had to act like a smoker, for example. He tried to smoke, right? In the beginning, he's not a smoker because of right acting in the movie, he starts smoking. That kind of thing also can happen, right? So similarly, in the beginning, he's not really drunker, but in the movie, he had to act like a drunkard or something. He start drinking, and that kind of thing also can happen, right? It depends on how is his condition. We cannot know exactly. Some of the, okay, I should say one interview. I watched some interview of some celebrity, right? As far as I know, one of Myanmar actors, she's a non-smoker. In the movie, she had to smoke. So after the movie, she had to force herself to stop smoking. It took only a few months of acting, right? But she started smoking because because acting in the movie. So finally, she could change. It depends on how strong the actor is also, right? If they are strong enough, they can stop that kind of behavior. If they're not strong enough, so they can be bad habit again, right? Okay.
Next question. Vandami Sayadaw, there are some who said they could see where a disease is reborn. For example, when Mahathera U Dhamma passed away, heard someone could see him reborn in Brahma realm. Is it considered a kind of psychic power, divine eye? And is it good to practice it, for example, to help share merits with a deceased if we know they are reborn, for example, as a hungry ghost? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, to share marriage to hungry ghosts, you don't need to practice psychic power. Just share marriage is good enough, right? Okay. If somebody say like that, actually don't believe. Real practitioner will never reveal their identity. Right? If they reveal their skill or their power, it's not truth. Right? For example, in our community, many people, many practitioners, they are busy with practicing. But there are many people, they are talking. Right? That means if somebody is a good practitioner, they don't have time to talk. If they have to talk a lot, that means they are not practitioner. Okay?
礼敬悉亚多，当父母经常在儿女修行或听开示的时候打扰儿女，并且大声训斥，很多时候儿女无法控制了升起很大的嗔心，并与父母吵架。这种情况下，儿女是否应该远离这样不断引起儿女不善心的父母？
Vandami Sayadaw, if the parents keeps on disturbing their children from listening Dhamma or practice meditation, and at the same time the parents also scold them, and sometimes the sons and daughters cannot control themselves and have very great hatred towards the parents and even start quarreling. In this type of condition, should the sons and daughter keep away from this type of parents so that to avoid akusala mind?
Okay, listening Dhamma, right? You can also use earphone. Nobody can hear, only you can hear. This is also possible, right? So they may live in their room, you may live in your room. The quarreling is not really very good for any reason, right? Okay, the main thing is you can change the system. You can do the same thing without quarreling. It's possible, right? If you can find better way, it will be easier. Okay. Next one.
Although we are 3 minutes past 9:30.
Okay.
There are a few more questions.
How many questions remaining?
About 5. 5 questions. Next question. Question 15. Wandami Sayadaw, could Sayadaw share with us the habits of Venerable Mahakassapa and Venerable Ananda? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
It will be analyzed also, right? Right? Actually, if you can study the life story of Venerable Mahakassapa, you can find what is his behavior, his habit, right? So similarly, Venerable Ananda, you can also see what kind of habit he has. Mostly, okay, Venerable Ananda is very obedient type. We can say another like that, right? Venerable Mahakassapa had very much contentment in his life. We can also understand like that. Okay. Next one.
Question 16. Wandami Sayadaw, how to overcome the worry or anxiety of not able to find a suitable teacher yet? Is it related to past or present karma that our wish cannot be fulfilled? And is the only way to overcome it is to keep making wholesome karma and making the desired aspiration? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, sometimes you cannot see right teacher. It's not because of past karma, present karma, right? Sometimes, although it's very near, you don't recognize this is possible, right? But sometimes, if we are very close, we don't know the value. This is the normal, right? But for example, when I was in the Bali school, actually, I don't know that much about my teacher's value. Right? He's very strict, actually. But anyway, I don't know that much his value. When I go outside, I realize my teacher's value. Right? This is the normal like this. Okay, the main thing is sometimes, okay, you grasp some teaching of other teacher, other tradition. You approach another teacher to approve previous idea. Then this is impossible. Right? So then if you want to get teaching of proper teacher, you must give up all previous idea, start as a new person. It's possible, right? If you keep carrying many good idea or bad idea or good teaching or bad teaching, right teaching, wrong teaching, everything in your mind, wherever you go, just bring that kind of topic, this kind of topic, it will be endless. Right? I already mentioned, listen more, speak less, it's okay. You can find proper teacher. Right? Many people want to give information. If you don't listen, nobody will give. Okay, next one.
Sunan.
礼敬悉亚多，因生活中善行会当作傻子，感恩尊者这次开示，又重新看业的运作，对业有了新的认识，那么自己保持善心还是对的，善心善行必产生善果，对吗？
Wandami Sayadaw, in daily life, those who practice wholesome deed will be treated like foolish persons. Now, after listening to Pandey's talks, her views start to change. He says, as long as we can keep our wholesome mind, it will be always correct. Wholesome mind, wholesome deed will always produce wholesome results. Is it correct?
Okay. So one more thing, right? In your case, you may have many old friends with your old lifestyle, right? So when you change your lifestyle, they will say you are crazy or silly. This is normal. Actually, many people, okay, now many Singaporeans come back from Myanmar, maybe, right? So you may meditate in Pa'ao or somewhere around Myanmar. When you come back to Singapore, then when you talk to your friends, then they may say you are silly or crazy. Not only that, when they talk to you something also, you don't want to listen. Your understanding has changed already, right? So similarly now, when we are going to change our lifestyle, we have to give up some of the friends. This is normal, okay?
Question 18. Vanami Sayadaw. Sayadaw explained if we don't have enough Vijacharana, we will not meet Buddha or Buddha's teaching at right time. Are there any other effects if we are short of Vijacharana? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, we have already mentioned many different parts of Kamma, for example, Sila, right? In the case of Sila, for example, killing, it will make shorter lifespan. Right? Already mentioned, right? Similarly, in the case of Samadhi, okay, it can cover many kind of unwholesome mental state also. Okay? So then it depends on the condition we have, there can be different effects in the samsara. Okay?
Question 19. Sunan.
礼敬西亚多，在没有证得禅那时，有没有什么修观的方法？对于年长的禅修者，此生时间已经不多，如何能在有生之年修习佛法观禅，才能不虚此生？
Sayadaw, if he has not attained jhana yet, is there any way to practice vipassana? For example, for those elderly meditators, in this lifetime, he may not have enough time to practice until vipassana. So how should he practice vipassana so that he will not live this life without any gains, any results?
Okay. Yeah, in this case, right? Don't think you don't have opportunity to practice vipassana or jhana, right? First, you must believe your ability. If you wish, you must practice also. Okay, if somebody asks, like you, is there any other way to practice vipassana without jhana? Then we have one condition, that is asset concentration. So based on asset concentration, you can also go to volume meditation, namarupa, and so on. You can continue practicing vipassana. This is possible. Okay. Next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. This next question is a Vietnamese question. Next one. Yeah. May I respectfully ask a question? If a monk who is an abbot does not personally handle money, but has a kapya, a steward, who is a close relative, managing the finances and informing him about income and expenses in the bank account, does this affect the monk's vinaya, monastic discipline? Venerable Sayadaw, I find this very difficult to understand, because if the kapya is not a relative and is not trustworthy, it could be dangerous, especially if such kapya lack sincerity and true devotion in supporting the sangha. May I also ask, what should a kapya do in order to handle the monk's requisites properly, so as to support the propagation of the Dhamma in the best way? I respectfully pay homage and express my deep gratitude to Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So in your question, whoever kapya, okay, related or not related, it doesn't matter. This is not the main thing, right? When we talk about vinaya, okay, it should be vinaya. Okay, when he reports expenses and income, it depends on how he reports. For example, he may say, oh, you have this amount of dollar, this amount of like Vietnamese dong or something like that, right? If they have that kind of report, this is not proper. Another thing is like talking to like a friend, right? But actually somebody offer me money, that if you want to get, okay, please ask me. That kind of thing, right? Some, okay, do you need something? Okay, I have received some donation from somebody. They may say like a friend, without informing properly. Okay, this kind of case can affect his vinaya. As long as he can inform properly according to vinaya, it's okay, no problem. Okay, another thing is what Kapila should do. Right? That means in the case of Kapila, actually not that much. You must report properly according to vinaya. That's good enough. Right? Another thing is sometimes like a bhikkhu needs, like he may say, okay, I need this one, please arrange. Kapi, for example, you must understand. We must not say buy it, purchase it. We cannot say like that, right? That means, okay, I want to get this one. Can you arrange? Okay, that means if you can, okay, yes, you can go and arrange. This one will be easier, right, to support. So as long as bhikkhu asks proper things, allowable things, it's okay, you can do it. If bhikkhu asks something allowable, you can also remind the bhikkhu. And this is not very proper. According to Vinaya, this is not really very good, for example. Kapi also can remind bhikkhu. In this case, no problem. Right? Okay, next one.
Sayadaw, this is the last question.
Okay.
Mandami Sayadaw, if we can't finish the food, can we share it with the ghosts? Sometimes we are overwhelmed by the difficulties we are facing. How can we find a way out? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So can we share with the ghost mean we are not sure they can eat or not? Right? Some of the ghosts, their karma is very serious. They will be always hungry. Although you give food, they cannot eat. This is one of the things, right? If you share, okay, there's some ghost can eat, this is also possible. Actually, for your information, right? If you're gonna finish food, if you can feed some animals or something, it's better. In Singapore, you're gonna find many animals also, right? Okay. Another thing is overwhelmed by difficulties we are facing. How can we find the way out? It depends on what kind of difficulties. The ones are very wide, right? Okay, some of the difficulties, discussing with somebody, we can overcome. Some difficulty, we have to find our own solution. Some difficulty, we have to give us something. Some difficulty, we have to qualify, we have to upgrade our quality. It depends on what kind of difficulty you have. There can be different solution, right? Okay.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We don't have any more questions, Sayadaw.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sayadaw. Thank you very much for your valuable teachings for these 9 days. And thank you all our interpreter Bande for the translation. May we now invite Sayadaw to lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Etawadaja amehi Sambadam Bunya Sambadam
Sambadam Punya Sambadam
Sabbe Deva Numodandu
Sabbe Deva Anumodantu
Sabbe Buddha Numodandu
Sabbe Buddha Anumodantu
Sabbe Satta Numodandu
Sabbe Sata Anumodantu
Sabba Sambati Siriya
Sabba Sampati Siriya
Idame Nyatinam Hodu
Idame Nyatinam Hotu
Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo
Sukita Hontu Nyatayo
Idame Nyatinam Hodu
Idame Nyatinam Hotu
Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo
Sukita Hontu Nyatayo
Idame Bunyam
Idame Bunya
Asawakaya
Asawakaya
Waham Hodu
Maham Hotu
Idame Bunyam
Idame Bunya
Nibbanasa
Nibbanasa
Bajayo
Ajayo
Hodu
Hotu
Mama Bunya Bagam
Mama Punya Bhagam
Sava Sadanam
Sabha Satana
Bhajemi
Bhajemi
Te Sabhe
Te Sabe
Me Samam
Me Sama
Bunya Bagam
Punya Bhagam
Lavandu
Labantu
Sadhu
Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Thank you.